Hello everybody, we are back with another 12 things that Northwind new players need to know. This is what I wish I knew as a new player. Today I'm going to spread that advice for everyone else out there who's brand new. And first off, we're going to talk about canoes. If you're a native account and you hold V, you've got your crafting menu. Colonists have the rowboat, and natives have a canoe. They're done with logs instead of planks. The Kala one requires planks, the native one requires logs. Now, if you make a canoe as a native, you're going to be incredibly fast on the water. Canoes are much faster than colonist rowboats, okay? And so natives can zip around in the water really, really quickly. If you're on an island like Bayaville, that's actually really important, because you have to get all the way over here so you can get to the fort or wherever the hell else you want to go. So canoes, if you have a native in your party, get that native to build a canoe, and it'll get you around so much faster on a water island like this one. Next up, storage space. If you want storage space but don't want to pay for it or do any of the treasure chest stuff, get an alt account. As long as your alt is like a month old in age, it should be able to join Northwind, and then just, spawn it in Bayaville. You may need multi-boxing software or just a second computer to spawn it in, but once you do, your little alt is just going to spawn right here, and then you just trade with it, and it acts as another 1,000 bank space effectively for you. And it's incredibly useful. I use alt accounts. Most people in this game use alt accounts. Storage alts are very, very common for the older players in the community, and it's much cheaper than buying the bank space yourself. Next up, natives. If you have a native account, natives, well, actually, everyone has a native account, and they can skin 10 of any animal and chop down 10 of any tree type, regardless of your profession level. So if you're a brand new colonist and you don't have your professions maxed out like I do, get your native, walk your native over to what you're trying to harvest, and then harvest it that way. Very useful. You'll have to somehow transfer that stuff onto your colonist, maybe as a native, like make a barrel or something, or I think natives can craft now, or they can build things. So if you're a native, just come over here and just make a barrel, and then put your stuff in it, hide it, and then get back in your Kalo, and empty the barrel. Easy, simple. It's not the end of the world if it gets stolen, but very helpful if you need to harvest something and don't have the colonist profession levels. Next up, lockpicks. If you're a colonist, you can make lockpicks with steel at an anvil once you have the level. And what this enables you to do is unlock any lock that's not in safe zone. So if you find another new player and they've got a locked sled chest, or they have a locked door. There's a house over there. It's gone now. Oh, no, there's a house. If that door was locked, that's in safe zone, so it can't be. But if you have a house outside safe zone and there's a lock on it, you can unlock it with a lockpick, which takes 1 minute. Sometimes they break, but otherwise very useful for breaking into things and stealing from owners who aren't home. That's what lockpicks do. And, as I said, you make them at the anvil right over in that building there. Next up, metal arrows and hunting. If you're hunting, do not use a gun. Do not use a gun. Use a longbow with metal arrows, okay? Don't use fire arrows. They don't apply damage to animals. Fire damage doesn't count on animals. So use metal arrows. You can just buy the metal arrows from any hunting shop. That hunting shop there will sell them. And then you craft the longbow with the C key. Where is it? Right here. Longbow. Easy enough. Now this you use in place of guns, because the longbow has less of a chance to make your animal run away from you, and the longbow conserves ammunition. So if I shoot like a fox with a bow, and the fox is dead, I can run over to the carcass, and I can take my arrow out of it, and use the arrow again, and put the arrow back into my quiver. Very simple, very effective. You'll conserve so much more ammo doing it, especially when you're fighting something like a bear, which is like 250 health, which is going to be like at least 5 arrows. And so it's a lot better to do that than to waste 5 bullets with a gun, because those bullets you'll never get back, but the arrows you get back and you put right back into your quiver. So, longbow and metal arrows. Use that when you're hunting. Next up, every single tree, every single ore node, every single animal has a respawn timer, okay? And because of this, there is no reason to hop servers, because the game keeps track of what you've mined or chopped down in previous servers. So if I kill like a wolf in this Bayaville server, which there aren't any, but if there was, if I killed a wolf here, and then I hopped to the next one, and I killed a wolf in that one, it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't get XP for killing that wolf and harvesting and all that. So you have to wait for the very specific respawn timer, and everything has a different one. So like Iron is like a minute to respawn, gold is like 10 minutes to respawn, something like that. So it depends on the rarity of the material, and you can see all the rarities and stuff with your professions, right? So like, these ones take longer to respawn on the huntings. These ones take less time to respawn, these ones take less time to respawn, these ones take the least time to respawn, etc. So it's easy enough to figure that out. Just keep in mind, there is no reason to server hop when you are grinding, because on every single server, that timer is still in effect, so don't server hop to grind unless you're trying to avoid a player. Next up, if you're really, really desperate for warmth, you can create a campfire. Where is it? This is the V key. You create a campfire, or a campfire and spit, or some sort of fire, and you can set yourself on fire to get a lot of warmth very quickly. It will hurt you, keep that in mind. An easier solution is to just eat a food. So if I were just to eat this cooked big game, I would get an immediate warmth boost, which is pretty big. This is not that important, but it can be useful in like very situational circumstances where you don't want to take damage from like swimming in cold water or something. Just keep in mind you'll need to have some empty space on your hunger bar to be able to consume food in the first place. So like if I'm maxed out here, oh, I guess I can just eat regardless. Oh. Yeah, I guess you can just eat regardless, it looks like. Oh, so I'm wrong. You can just eat regardless of anything. So, go figure. Next up, black sets. For black set users, there's a brand new ingot that's even darker than Wolfram. Wolfram, if you didn't know, is dark green, and that's the ingot I have right here. That's this color. This is Wolfram. The new ingot in the Ducat store is all black. It's a very nice ingot. It's also kind of expensive. It's called Obsidian, just like the Minecraft thing, just like the volcanic thing. So this little fucker is the new all black ingot, and it'll be like the color of the black stuff here, as opposed to the color of Wolfram, which is this, and it's very dark green. So if you're making a black set as a new player, keep that in mind. If you have deep pockets and you want to spend all of your money and give it to Ryaz, there is a new black ingot, which is better than Wolfram. Next up, if you have Ducats, just like the last one, you can buy the new package in the Ducat store. This is kind of pay to win, but it will give you a shawl for extra warmth, okay? And this will stack even if you do have max warmth from every other item equipable possible. So this shawl we see here on the shoulders, this gives you warmth. And this is a brand new item that gives you warmth that doesn't stack with any other warmth item. So I could max myself out with my my Crockett cap, my Hunter cape, all that special stuff, and I could still get more warmth by putting on the shawl, because the shawl takes place of the armband. And the armband can't give warmth, but the shawl, which is an armband, quote-unquote, does give warmth. So, strong recommend, if you're like a player who needs warmth maxed out, buy these packages and get your shawl, okay? And that's how you max out warmth in Northwind. Next up, we're going to talk about camouflage. So, there's only one camouflage in Northwind, really. All white sets don't work because the white set color does not blend in with the snow white set color. The snow white set color is a cooler white, whereas the like cream white of a white set does not match at all. So you're going to stand out even with a white set. The only camouflage that works is an all black set, and that's only at nighttime or in caves. So do as much as you can to cover your skin, especially if you've got a white skin tone. If you've got a black skin tone, you're good. And absolutely make sure to get as much as your kit black as possible. So, you know, use dark colored weapons, right? Like this is gray and brown. Don't use shit like rose gold, obviously. Make everything as black as possible. All lanterns should be off. You should have a bandana up if you don't have that. Take hair that, like, obscures your face. So, like, this hair obscures the entire back half of my head. So, if you want camouflage, the absolute best way to do it is to make everything as black as humanly possible. And that's the only camouflage in Northwind. And that only works at nighttime and in caves, so keep that in mind. You'll also want to up your gamma, which I talked about in previous videos, so you can see even if other people can't see you. Next up, if you want to expand your bank space, there's only two ways to do it. The first way is the pay-to-win way, which is here, plus 50 bank space for 200 ducats, which is 2,000 ducats. This is like 10 USD for 50 bank space. I've bought a couple of them. Most people have who are veterans of the game. But if you don't want to do that, there's a better way to do it. Treasure hunting. This is a lot more work, but it is worth it in the end if you grind it out. It takes 106 treasure chests to max treasure hunting, if I recall correctly. When I did it, it was about 106. And this can only be done on Stonemoor and Rupert. So if you are to travel to Rupert, you go to the treasure board, you'll see all the contracts, you take your contracts, you go out across the map, you find your treasure chests, that's a whole different video. You're looking for, essentially, a region of the map. As you can see here, we've got all our regions of the map. And you go to that region and you look for a little stake in the ground. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll know when you see it. You then need a shovel. I don't have one on me. It'll be a tool just like these. You'll dig with the shovel, and you'll dig up the treasure chest in the vicinity of the little stake in the ground. It'll be somewhere in the immediate vicinity of that stake, so it'll be very close to that stake. You'll dig it up, and you'll bring that treasure chest back to your little treasure board. I can't do it on Bayable because there's no chest on Bayable, but in a hypothetical, you'd bring it back to the board you got the contract from. You turn it in, do that 106 fucking times, and you'll max out treasure. And that'll give you like 250 bank space when you max it out, which is the equivalent of like 50 USD worth in plus 50 bank space. So that's kind of nice. A lot of work though, because treasure hunting is one of the hardest grinds in Northwind, but food for thought, if you need to expand a bank space and you don't feel the need to get a alt account for storage, that is the best way to do it. But the obvious best way to do it is get an alt account for storage, which is what everyone does, so I recommend that in place of spending money. And then lastly, our final 12th tip of the day, if you're fishing, which you can do on Bayable, and you spot a fish jumping out of the water, you can cast your line into the spot where that fish jumped, and you're guaranteed to catch that fish. But you have to cast the line exactly where the fish jumped, or like in the immediate vicinity of where that fish jumped. Otherwise, you won't catch it. And so if you see like yellowfin tuna and stuff jumping on like a rare spawn on like Rupert or something, you can catch it if you get your lure in the right position. Which is, again, easier said than done. They're very hard to aim. But if you do, that's what you're rewarded with. And that's our 12 tips for today. Thanks everybody for watching. There's going to be more content soon. Probably some Bellum Imperii content, because that's what's coming out next. And good luck to you guys, especially the new players out there. But bye now.